Hi and welcome to Hopefully Helping. I'm Gary.
And I'm Jo.
And today we've got a topic that's close to our heart, stomachs.
About gastric band versus gastric sleeve. It's I've had both done, so I've had first-hand experience in pros and cons, and obviously Gary's been living it alongside me, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Through the ups and downs, and been beside me while I've been throwing up and all the rest of it, and looking after me.
It's been a journey, we'll say that. So when I first met you, you'd literally just, not the first time, second time, you'd literally just had it done, hadn't you?
I just had the band done, and it was about 2005 I had it done. Everything was fine. I flew out to Belgium and had it done, spent 2 nights there, come back. Great. For the next year or so, I steadily lost weight, no problems. The only thing I did develop was my eyes versus my belly. That was always a problem, and I would end up being sick most of the time because I still wanted to taste the food, and I guess it was just simply I just could not deal with the littleness that the band could let me have. So I was being sick up to 20-30 times a day. I mean,
it was quite an experience. I mean, I still remember the time we went to the pasta restaurant.
Yeah.
And we had 2 normal meals, but Jo would
obviously have to take a few trips to the bathroom so I could finish it.
Turned into a bit of a running joke in the end, didn't it? It was a reload. Everyone remembers Time Crisis.
Obviously that's not what it's meant for, and it just goes to show that the psychological side of eating and trying to lose weight at the same time can clash. Anyway, that was that for a few years. I lost a lot of weight. I lost about 8 stone, so it was doing its job. And
it very much did its job, yeah. Definitely.
Then I got pregnant, and the band kind of became more restricted, and I couldn't get anywhere close to home to get a defill. So I was halfway through my pregnancy and I was weighing 7 stone.
You've dropped a lot in a very short period of time.
So I'd gone from weighing sort of 18 plus to 7 stone in such a short time. And people were shocked when they would see me and ask me if I was ill.
Yeah, because a lot of your clothes didn't fit properly.
No, even a size 6. Yeah,
you look quite gaunt in the face.
It did kind of age me, but luckily I had a healthy pregnancy. They handed me a baby that was 6 pounds 3 ounces, and
off you go.
Yeah, as far as I was concerned, that was all good. Obviously, I didn't realise that Hope had other genetic problems, which part of me does think that maybe because I was so underweight that it's had a negative effect on her
development.
Yeah.
We do this. We go round and round in circles, and
the
we
doctor
blame
said
each
no,
other.
but how can they be sure? But anyway, I'm not going to go on about that. I do feel kind of guilty for that. But so after I noticed a while, I noticed that the port where you sits on your top of your stomach, the actual band, and there's a tubing and a port. Now, if you're looking at this, you're going to know all about bands and all that, so you're going to know what I'm talking about. It's sat underneath the skin, and it started to become a bit sore. And
it's about, we should just say though, this is about an inch below the ribs.
Yeah, and it was a bit sore, and I thought maybe I had a bit of an infection in it, so went to the doctors. They said, yeah, just keep an eye on it. About 2 months later, it started swelling up, and the pain was horrific. It was only because my eldest daughter, was in A&E that I showed a nurse, and she said, you need to go to A&E yourself. That needs looking at. they cut it open and it was just black stuff coming out. So what they did is referred me to a general surgeon who looked at it and says that he wants to remove the port. It looks like it's infected. So I did that, come back, and apparently I had something called Pseudomonas something.
Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which is it's a flesh-eating disease, and it's also, quite ironically, one of the things that we have to look out for in cystic fibrosis with our little one Hope. But that's the topic for another day.
But so he said that he wanted to go back in, and instead of putting a new port in, he wanted to check the tubing to make sure that it was just the port and not the tubing. So I had another operation for them to go in, do that, come home. Turns out that the tubing was also affected. So now I'm being told I need to have the whole thing removed. I was in a lot of pain by this stage. I just wanted to get it out of my body. So I was meant to be in for a day surgery.
Yep.
So I didn't really pack much. And the next thing I knew, I woken up with tubes and everything. And apparently they had to open me up quickly because I started struggling on the operating table, and instead of keyhole surgery, they had to do open surgery, and it was pretty bad. I had 35 staples from my chest bone right down to my belly button. Yeah, it was pretty bad. When my daughter came to see me, my oldest one, she burst into tears, but I let Gary tell his side because obviously I was out of it. But I was in for just over a week in the end. Yeah,
it was quite a bad time because obviously the surgeon was in contact with me quite a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously I was at the hospital for this. There was no lockdown. This was what, 5
This was
years
in 2000.
ago?
No, this was in 2011.
Oh wow, has it been that long?
Yeah.
Blimey. Okay. Just goes to show how quick time goes. Of course, yeah. Hope was really young, wasn't
Hope was about 6 months old.
So yeah, they cut Joe open. They removed the whole band, and while they were there, they noticed that Joe's large intestines had quite a few holes where the tube had been resting against it, and because that was infected with Pseudomonas, it had started eating away at Joe's intestines as well, the bowels. So the only way I'll tell you the way that the surgeon told me, and the way that I remember it is that he had Joe's bowels on the table and was trying to repair them with loads of little sutures and stitches. And when you hear that and you start thinking, oh my God, her insides were on a table.
It was pretty touch and go.
It was.
And this was all due to the band.
Now, we've heard a lot of stories about failures with the band.
It seems to be more common now because obviously more people are having it done. Therefore, you're going to get more percentage-wise on the cons on it. But if you go to or join any type of gastric kind of support group, you will see for yourself how many people are having to go from band to sleeve or bypass because the band has left them. Sometimes it erodes. So it's not doing the job, it's just making you feel really, really rubbish instead.
So the moral of the story is, do your research before you choose which one.
Don't get a band. Although it's £1,000 cheaper, that's the problem. It's because it is a lot cheaper, people are like, well, I really want to lose weight. Can I afford this extra £1,000? And normally it's going to be no. I mean, when I had the band done, I did it privately myself. So I understand that. And for the sake of a few extra £100, get a sleeve. The sleeve is basically just 80% of your stomach off, cut away, making kind of like a banana shape. But it's the process is all the same. It's just a lot smaller. I'm now coming up 5 weeks out, and I've lost £34 roughly.
2.5 stone.
Yeah. So, and I don't understand why I didn't go for a sleeve to begin with. Purely, it must have been because of the money. It must have been. But yeah, do your research. Please, please, if you really are going to go for a band, just think and think and think. And there's just so many things that can go wrong. I mean, my abdominal is just full of scars. It's just bad. My bikini days are truly over. But
Joe is definitely in the zipper club. You don't really need to worry about that.
it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, I'm 40 years old now. It's not something that worries me. It's not. But my point of this video is, please do your homework, because there is just so many things that go wrong with the band, and the doctor will say to you, oh, no. But you just need to hear and these people speak firsthand about their experience with the band. And the NHS normally, I've noticed, have started doing, people that are that have got the band, they take that out and they do the sleeve while they're there. I wasn't able to do that, because obviously there was a lot of complications with having the band removed, as well as the damage that it caused inside me. And that is why when I had the sleeve done a few weeks ago, it wasn't just an easy in-out hour on the theatre. My whole insides was completely chock-a-block with scar tissue, and they took just under 4 hours to complete the sleeve, once they'd under 5 hours. And that's they were only managed to do it by literally picking at the time. They can't just snip it. Apparently you had to really do it really delicate.
So just for clarity, we are not sat here saying don't have a gastric band.
Just know the dangers.
What we are saying is go into it with your eyes open.
Because it might be fine for you. It might be, yeah. But there is more cons on that than there. I mean, the NHS have actually stopped doing the bands in quite a lot of places in the country. I'm not sure if it's all, as only what I've heard, but because of the complications, they have stopped doing it now.
Yeah. I mean, the realisation that we come to was that the band is a foreign object in your body.
Yeah, and it's going to cause it. Well, it probably will cause
issues. Yeah. Whereas, the sleeve is actually removal of part of your stomach.
But it's a natural process still. You just can't eat as much. They say you can stretch it. I spoke to the doctor, and although you can stretch it to a certain degree, you can't get it back to the way it was. It just can't. It just won't do it. It's not an elastic band. It's just a bit of skin, organ, and but obviously your tolerance to slippage foods are a lot higher. You get to know a year down the line what you can eat and what you can't eat. I had some bread today, which I managed to keep down, but tomorrow I might try it again and might not be able to. It's just one of these things that if I've taken a lot of pills for other stuff, it's kind of a meal on its own. So so I have to make sure that I leave it sort of 45 minutes to an hour before I have anything else. But crisps, things like Skips and Quavers, Munch to Munch, they go straight down, and that's all calories. So,
and to be clear, it's not a huge amount of calories.
It isn't, but when you're on later on down the line and you're sneaking in a bit of wine and a bit of chocolate, and all of a sudden your body's consuming more calories than, say, a few weeks ago, it's going to have an impact. At the end of the day, it is purely simply calorie in, calorie out, and the less calories you have, the more you will lose. But obviously if it's too low, your body will hold on to basically fill your fat cells up with water, thinking that it needs to get into survival mode. I mean, I might not be explaining this right, but obviously Google is full of all of it, and it's called the whoosh effect. So if you Google that, and it will come up with loads of information, the whoosh effect with weight loss, and it will show you and explain how the fat cells hold on to the water in case of famine. And obviously, if you eat over 600 calories, your body will think, oh, okay, this is okay, and start to let go of it. So you've got to try and keep over 600 calories. And at the beginning, it's really, really hard because you can barely eat anything. That's why they say a cup of soups, anything like that you can get your hands on and try and keep it down. But you are losing muscle mass at the beginning, which will drop to begin with.
And that's probably why
that's not what you want to.
No,
you don't want that. That's why they say the protein, you've got to have at least 60 grams of protein. I found that really hard. So I can't preach to you that that's what you need, because it is really hard. I mean, protein shakes, they're not the nicest things. But if you want it to work and you need to get those calories down you, then do it. But the moral of the story is do your homework.
Go into it with your eyes open.
Yeah. Now that I've had the sleeve, I don't feel like I've been in hospital and had this operation. It's really strange. Obviously, I'm losing weight. My energy levels are a lot better. I was needing at least 2 sleeps during the day. I mean, going to Asda would completely wipe me out because I have fibromyalgia as well. So obviously, the extra weight that I was carrying along, it was making me really tired. And I don't feel like I need to have that sleep. I want to have that sleep, and that's different than needing it. So before, I couldn't get up. I needed to have that sleep. Otherwise, I just wouldn't be able to function towards the end of the day. I haven't had sleep today, and there's no way that a few weeks ago I would be sat here having this conversation, doing this video without needing a rest. So it just goes to show that it does play a major role on your whole body.
It does. And the other thing is that you're not seeing so much things like sciatica. You're not getting
the
that
sciatica.
so much.
If anyone's ever had sciatica, they know it's pure evil. There's nothing you can do. Painkillers and everything barely touch it. It might take the edge off it. Even sitting down for too long. That is the one thing that I do not miss and will never miss. So the point of this again is do your homework. Check if you can just wait a few extra weeks, months to get the sleeve or the bypass. You will be thanking yourself long term, or you do run the risk of all these extra problems with the band. The NHS won't do it. So yeah, got any questions? Feel free to email me. What is our email?
It'll be in the description.
Oh, okay.
So please like, subscribe,
and down if not. And hope you have a good day.
Take care.
Bye bye. Okay, I'm going to go and do my ironing now.